Good morning, everybody. Good morning.
Hello. Morning.
Welcome to this week's meeting of Essex Business Forum. A somewhat depleted audience, I see, 15 of us, but thank you for turning up. The other thing is, we're in the last meeting of September, Visitors September. We probably have the lowest number of visitors that we've ever had in a month. And therefore, we'll rewind it. And let's see if we can do something in October that is a follow-up on what we'd all done or not done so far. Right, that out of the way, let's get on with the meeting. I'm Aidan Smart, I'm the meeting chairman. It's my job to get through the agenda. Could I ask the leadership team who support that to be upstanding and introduce yourselves? Please.
Go for it. Why don't you be Brian if you want?
Oh, shall I start? Because we normally go that way, don't we? Good morning. You all know I'm Scott. I'm your meeting secretary, the fastest lap driver, and do all the admin stuff and yes.
Vincent. Terry.
Right.
There's 15 guys. We need some padding.
Look around at different seats as the meeting goes on, that would be helpful. Right, we're starting a bit late, but there's only 15 of us, so let's stick to the 60-second round, but I know Vincent will exercise his discretion if you're finishing off, because we've got plenty of time. Right, let's get underway. Performance League, Scott.
Rightio. So today's your last chance to impact on these figures, but so far, 4 weeks into this 5-week month, we are as follows. Many members have topped 100 points, which is terrific. John Hammond, Toby, Paul Booth, Stuart, Howard, myself, Jane, Terry and Aidan. Just giving away the order at the top there, haven't I? So third place is Jane, 169 points. Second place, Terry, 175 points. Current leader, 180 points. In the month, is that?
Excellent. As same with that as that goes round, it's a rare thing. My name on the top. Education slot is next. Ben isn't here today through the state of his health, and we wish him all the best going forward. I believe Paul is going to present what Ben himself would have presented. So using Ben's voice, if you sing.
Don't sing it. I think that would be a little bit offensive. If I start his voice, like crap. It's Ben's birthday on Sunday, so I think he's probably not well.
Name of his cat, did you say?
It's his birthday on Sunday, so I'm sure he'll appreciate everyone dropping him a line and helping him celebrate and feel better. Anyway. Why would you want to be a great networker? Because being a great a good networker builds you a reputation, and that leads to lots of business. So what do great networkers do? They prepare for meetings by thinking about who will be there and what they can do to help them. They usually arrive earlier and usually leave later than others to maximise their networking time. They don't spend all their time with just one person, they mingle and network openly. They're more concerned with learning about other people than giving out their business cards. They also actively listen for opportunities to help other people and make a point of introducing people who might have shared interests. They prepare by being specific about who they want to be introduced to, or what to listen out for, what you should say to those people. They show respect for their fellow networkers by focusing on what they have to say and not being distracted by their phones. They give up their time to help without asking anything in return. They have one-to-ones and structure them towards understanding how they can help. They recognise that they never stop learning. They're positive, enthusiastic and fun. They're authentic, they are consistent, and they listen more than they talk. They're in the lesson on behalf of Ben. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very good. Wonderful delivery. Thank you very much. Membership matters. Terry, do we have any that you'd like to share?
We have some, but nothing I'd like to share with you this week. We will.
Oh, wait. Right, well, we'll all look forward to next week then. Thanks, Terry. Business card box. Right, in anticipation of the 60-second round, we're going to have to do a bit of legwork today, I realise. Business cards. Thing for your referrals. Right, as those go around, we are at the 60-second round. Terry won the Oscar. He will be listening out this week carefully and awarding the Oscar at the end. Vincent has already pinged to confirm that he is the bellman. He will be belling you out if you go over the 60 seconds, although we might be marginally generous today given the numbers. Right.
He is only 1 or 2 seconds off extra time. So,
Back go party.
I'll
stop for a coffee. Right. Let's get on with the 60-second round then. Terry, as the person with the Oscar who was judging, will go first, and he'll be followed by.
Yeah, good morning everybody. You know what I do. But this week, I'll tell you some of the things I've been up to. So, I've had, and it's not, no one here referred it, but a new tripping plane. Hurrah, because I finished the last one last week, which is why I got the Oscar. So I've got a man who's tripped on some defective steps going down to the seafront. So that's good, coming in later today. I've had a landlord and tenant section 21 notice to serve, which will be followed by possession proceedings. And I've had 2 new debt collections come in. One for several £100, but one for £45,000. So that's a selection of the sort of work I've got on this week, and it's a selection of the sort of work I'd like you to look out for me for, because it's what I do. I also brought these in today. I did these a while ago, but if any of you want something to take back to your office or keep hold of, they're leaflets setting out the services that myself and Aidan are out. So I've got a little supply here, so at the end I want to just take a few, keep them on your desk or wherever you meet customers. That'd be great, thank you. Terry Mangan, TM Moore.
Thanks, Terry. Hannah, you're followed by Mike Skinner.
I'm Hannah Shelley from HFO Media. So I do different vintages, but one thing that I do that is quite popular is something called a golden hour. So what that is, 15 to 30 minutes before the meeting, I'll send over a questionnaire. I've got 2, so one if the business has no social media platforms, or the other one would be if they do. So the questionnaire will just be going over their struggles, content ideas, or just knowing whether the platforms that they're on is actually right for them. Within that hour, it's sort of like the thinking out loud hour. I go over the questionnaire, sort of help them with their struggles, and come up with different ideas. It's completely flexible. It could be every week, every month, or whenever they feel like it. So it's literally, in a nutshell, me doing a profile review and coming up with ideas for them. So for EBF members, it'd be £45. So if you'd like to do it, be in touch, know anyone that you know who would be interested, please get in touch. Thank you.
Thank you. Mike, you're next, followed by James.
Morning everyone. So at the beginning of our karting adventure yesterday, we was led into a little briefing room and they showed us a video. And for those that weren't there, it covered many of the safety aspects, the coloured flags that Vince was going to ignore, and all the PP that was going on. So why use a video for this? And there's 2 reasons, and they can both save the company money. The first reason is that while we're all sitting there watching the video, the staff member that was in charge could be going off, doing something else, getting on with another job if they need to be doing. He wasn't really sat with us, but it frees that up. But the second reason is a bit more important, and it keeps people like Terry off their back. The staff feel great, but they're generally quite young, probably not that well paid. They're not looking for a career in safety briefings. That's not where their mind's at. And if you get that staff member to repeat the same briefing 20 times a day, day in, day out, they're going to make mistakes and they're going to occasionally miss things, not intentionally, but it's going to happen. If that mistake was forgetting to mention not to get out of the cart on the track, and someone does, you've got a lawsuit on your hands. With a video, you've got absolute consistency that your information is being relayed accurately 100% of the time. And if a member of the public says they weren't told something, they've not got a leg to stand on, hopefully not literally speaking. So get your information across accurately every time. Mike at Blackwater Media. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. James, you're next, followed by Nick Cook.
James from RMK and BHK Insurance. To follow on from last week and your activity during the week, wheels. I spoke about motor traders last week, and for some reason I've had a run on fleets this week. So if you know any companies, ideally, with 3 or more vehicles, then they could probably save themselves considerable money having a fleet policy, all under one policy. They'll also have wider covers on there, lower excesses on there, so there is a huge number of advantages to it. Now, if those 3 vehicles are Range Rovers and they haven't had any of those stolen, very few people have 3 Range Rovers without one of them being in Eastern Europe within 6 months, maybe not so much for us. But if they've got 1 Range Rover and 2 vans, if they've got 5 vans and 3 Range Rovers, we can do that. So fleets, wheels, mix of vehicles, but a mix of vehicles. I don't want a load of high-performance vehicles because we just can't do it. I can't waste their time and ours. Thank you very much, James, RMK Insurance.
Thanks very much, James. New grandfather, Nick Cook. And he will be followed by Paul.
As you know, my name's Nick, I'm a structural engineer. I prepare designs for people who are altering their houses. I carry out structural inspections for people who are buying houses. So this morning, just a few words about structural inspections. I know how houses are built. I know how they should be maintained. And I know what can go wrong with them. So I'm very well placed to take a good look at any house that someone's buying, make sure there's nothing wrong with it before they buy it. So if you know anyone who's in the process of buying a house or getting close to even just thinking about buying a house, give them my card, give them my number, get them to call me. I'll be very happy to talk them through what they need to know and how best I can help them. So my name's Nick, I'm a structural engineer. The business is called Nick Cook. Thank you.
Thank you, Nick. Paul is Paul Delew, is followed by Vincent.
Thank you very much. Paul Delew, Red by Limited Communications Agency. We help businesses communicate clearly and effectively. I've mentioned in the past how I consider myself to be a translator, translating the words of a business, the language of a business into clear and concise, easy to understand language. And actually something I also do is I work with clients where the principals of the business don't have English as their first language. So I've worked with Russians pre the sanctions, French, Belgians, African language speakers, and Italians, and so on and so forth. And whilst the likes of Google Translate are fantastic at turning your language into another language, quite often things get lost in translation. So quite often what will happen is a client will come to me saying, right, here's what I want to put on my website, here's my website, can you have a look at it? And I'll go through it and actually work out what it was they meant to, were trying to say on the basis of what Google Translators translated from their native language. So I'm looking for businesses where principal people are not, don't have English as their first language and would like help in turning their whatever they write into English that is fully English.
Thank you very much, Mr. Delew. Did I say Vincent?
Yeah.
I'll say it again, and he's followed by Matt.
Vincent from Speedprint, best printers in the world, Gants Hill, many, many years. We produced some personalised key rings for a firm of solicitors last week. There's 2 there, I had about 250 of them, but there's 2 that I nicked off his. And they're branded with obviously his logo and his message, and we can do them for estate agents, for anyone really. We can do them in different shapes as well, so if you're into cars, we can do them in the shape of a car, James. Also, loop. We did loop key rings for him as well. There's lots and lots of different colour loops, so anything to match your colouring. So they're a nice little thing to put on your key ring. 37 seconds. So anyway, it's been a lovely week. I'm going to sit down now.
If it suits your colouring, would it be a sort of ghastly Thank you very much, Vincent. Matt, you're next, followed by Mike Hickson.
Good
Good morning everyone, Matt from Blue Seraph. I just wanted to give you a quick rundown of the sort of stuff that we're doing at the moment. We are doing a branding and website design for a furniture charity. We've done a brochure for an awards company, some posters for a medical centre. We're doing a branding for a major consultancy, another branding for an art studio business, a guidebook for a cathedral. We've been doing some poster designs for a theatre. We've been doing website designs. I'm working with Scott and Paul for a healthcare consultancy. We're doing a branding piece for a business training consultancy. Another branding piece for a label manufacturer. Branding piece. Is that a minute already?
It's a very long minute.
God, I've only just started. The point is, we're pretty damn busy, but we've got a whole plethora of clients, and that's what we love. So, if you've got any weird and wonderful clients that need some weird and wonderful funky branding, then come to us.
All of that, and he still manages to turn up at the meeting, which is another 15 minutes. Right, thank you very much, Matt. Mike Hickson is followed by Stuart Smallcombe.
Okay. Morning, everyone. I'm Mike Hickson from LSA Systems, the group's friendly IT service provider. This week, one of our clients reported he was seeing thousands of bounced emails in his inbox. After a quick investigation, we found that his account had been sending out scam emails. And after looking at the outbound email queue, we discovered around 160,000 emails had been sent out from his mailbox. He immediately disabled his account and reset his password. But it doesn't end there. We're still working today, 3 days later, on clearing out all the emails remaining in the outbound queue to get them cleared. His account remains disabled, and the data breach has now been reported to the Information Commissioner's Office, which will lead to a GDPR, data breach investigation and a possible fine. Apart from the cost of all this and the potential fine, imagine the damage that this has done to the reputation of the business. And he's an independent financial advisor. Imagine the inconvenience that this has caused to the business, and all for the sake of a secure password. That's Mike Hickson from LSA Systems.
Thank you, Mike. So, Stuart, you're next, followed by Leanne.
Hello everybody, Stuart from LG Networks. You probably know that my company, we're actually in the process of looking at moving office at the moment. And like a lot of businesses, when we move office, one of the paramount concerns to us is the internet connection that we're able to get. Now, we've looked at all sorts of places. We've looked at serviced offices where everything's already included. We've looked at offices above shops. We've looked at barn units out in the middle of nowhere. What's important that we know to us is wherever we move, we can get ourselves a top quality internet connection. Okay, we deal with private internet services. So it's a lot like, when you go on, if you want your service to step above, outside that public network, onto the private network space, we can literally get you any internet service anywhere you want it. If you want a 100 gigabit internet connection into the middle of a field, we can get that for you. Asterisk, that's going to be quite expensive, but it is possible. The point is, so if you know of any businesses that are relocating, even they're looking to move out to really remote premises, please put in touch with us, Stuart at LG Networks. Thank you.
Thank you, Stuart. Leanne, you're followed by Scott.
Good morning everyone, Leanne from Brooklyn Interiors. So I am an interior designer and I provide services for as little or as much as you need for designing a room. From colour selections, furniture selections and also working with the trades. Sometimes it doesn't necessarily mean to design, you sometimes need a fresh pair of eyes for a room. For example, a bedroom I recently designed had 2 recesses and a slanted roof and they didn't know how to work it. So I went in and I suggested a couple of things. They thought of everything for the room, but I went in, I suggested some things and they thought it was absolutely fantastic. So, if you need any help from any room in your house, from one room to a full house renovation, give me a call. That's Leanne from Brooklyn Interiors.
Before and after photos would be great to really.
Yes.
Thank you, Leanne. Scott, he will be followed as he was around the track on Wednesday night, or was it Thursday? Tuesday. There you are, close. He will be followed by Tina.
I'm going to play on this go-karting.
We have mentioned it, so.
No, exactly. But just wanted to make the point that like in go-karting, every couple of milliseconds count. Lap by lap, they all add up, but second by second, millisecond by millisecond, they actually do have a weighting and a relevance to where your website appears in Google search results. So if your site is slow and clunky, it takes ages to load, Google will penalise that site. It's a worse user experience for the person browsing on their mobile and there's no connection, so it will be pushed down. If it's lightning quick, it will be given a boost and more highly ranked. So if every millisecond does count, clearly it counts to me, give us a shout and we can do things to lighten the load of your website, speed it up and get pole position.
Thank you, Scott. Tina, you're next. You'll be followed by me and I'll be followed by Paul. Tina.
Morning everybody, my name's Tina. My company's called Liberty 66 of a secretarial and service. I'm based in Essex, as everyone knows, but I cover locally and nationwide, supporting companies that have even got secretaries but they need an extra pair of hands, or they've just started out, but they need help with the paperwork, typing reports, arranging meetings. That's me. So if you know anybody that needs any help, pass me my details. I'll be able to help. So that's me, Tina, Liberty Executive Services. I'm not a 9 to 5, I'm starting.
Thank you, Tina. I'm into props today. That is a bodger, or as I call it, a diploid. What do I use it for? Well, I use it for opening letters. I make holes in the corners of documents and thread through ribbon, particularly for wills. Those are the things you pay £200 for a single basic will, or £275 for mirrored wills, or commercial leases, which are a bit more expensive but equally important. I can also use it for crochet, but I don't know how to do it, and I'm not really interested in doing it. But I would do if I could. So that's me, Aidan Squire, TM Law, with Bodger. Paul.
Morning, Paul Booth, Parish Health Certified Accountant based in Brentwood. There was a budget last week, and there were some big changes announced. Whether those changes will definitely go through or not yet, we will see. But they're pretty good for the higher taxpayers, but not so good for normal people. But a lot of people are really confused about tax at the moment. A lot of people are getting unexpected tax demands. They don't know where they are, how much tax they've got to pay, whether the tax they've been asked to pay is correct. So I'm happy to look at any one of those circumstances that they just want a second opinion or just want some reassurance. That's Paul Booth from Booth & Co. Minimise tax, maximise wealth.
Thank you, Paul. Nice to see that somebody's going to benefit from the lunatics being in charge of the asylum. But here we go. That's the end of the 60-second round. Terry, give us your prognosis.
Yeah, well, very good, thanks. Well, on a more formal level, yeah, very good. Very high quality stuff. And usually people thinking about what they're going to say and giving us some high quality stuff. Very good. Like it, very direct, and that's what you're looking for. Hannah, excellent, really good. But you've won it last week and the week before, but very good. You know, to the point, and a few more succinct. But I think it's got to go to Mike because you demonstrated to those 9 of us that were there how effective that was, that presentation, and you made good points about what it's, why you should have those presentations done. So I'm going to award it to Mike.
Well done. Thanks, Terry. Well done, Mike. Right, we move on. We move on to the meeting secretary.
Not a terrific amount to say other than that continued reminder to get the B forms filled out, please, and remember to plug in all the stuff you've got on the green bits of paper today. They don't actually count on the Performance League unless you put them through on the forms. This is just vanity, so that we can see what you're doing in the meeting. Thank you to those of you who came along to my race night. We managed to raise over £1,600 for the 10 young persons travelling around the world next year, so that was absolutely terrific. And well done to those of you who came along to our social. Cheers.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Scott. Whilst we're talking about the social on Tuesday, as you all probably gathered, there was go-karting, and Vincent, who got onto the podium by all sorts of various nefarious means, will continue his active now.
Yes, there was 9 hardy souls turned up for the race night. There was Terry Fittipaldi, Vincent Senna, of course, Melissa Hunt, Mike Hakkanaken, was he a racer? Yeah, him. Mike Hamilton, let's see what I did there. Blake Mansell, Scott Moss, Stuart Cross, and Toby Lauder. And Toby turned up in his Ferrari polo shirt with matching Ferrari race jacket. He was taking it rather seriously. The injuries, well, Terry had bruised ribs, but I was just getting into the cart. I sustained a little bit of whiplash from Terry going into the back of me. Toby had, his pride was damaged for not winning. And Blake was wearing a pink balaclava, whilst I had an injury. And what else can I tell you? The black flags. Who got black flag for ignoring a red light? No? Somebody did. Maybe it was me. I was told I was driving without due care and attention under the influence. So I got 30-second warning. And I claimed victory by stepping onto the winner's rostrum. So that's a victory, isn't it? But I think Mike Skinner, was it Scott? It's all on the GoPro video that Mike did. It's on YouTube, and it all goes to prove what a dirty bastard driver he is. That's the summary.
Thank you, Vince. That's a technical term. Dirty bastard driver. Right, thanks Vince for that. We approach the 10-minute presentation. Actually, Scott is going to stand in for Ben on some of the housekeeping stuff that Ben normally does. Scott.
Okay, so the normal piece of housekeeping of the upcoming speakers and education presenters was emailed out to you yesterday. So you should all have that to read at your own convenience. I'm not going to repeat that part. But I've got a 2-part screenshot photograph of the bio sheet today, so let me have a go at reading this. Excuse me if I'm zooming in and zooming out. So the nature of this business is secretarial and admin, and the business location areas covered everywhere, all over. I won't tell you who this is, but their favourite day out is a spa day with friends. See how we go. A bad personal experience with food. Snails. They're gross. Something that winds this person up. People who don't acknowledge when you let them pass when you're driving. Favourite holiday location and why? Anywhere hot. A satisfying achievement is owning their own business. An excellent thing that they have done. It's been crossed out, obviously it wasn't that good. So any guesses on who that person is? It could only really be one person, of course it's Tina.
On the screen, unfortunately, and some of you already know my presentation, but otherwise we've got some new members. I've got to start from the beginning. Right, about me. I was born, schooled, married, divorced and raised. I haven't moved anywhere else, but I'd like to start moving somewhere nice. I have a sister, 2 nephews, 1 niece and 3 great nieces, and a cat called Pete. So when I left school, my first job as an office junior was working for W.H. Smith's head office, working for their book buyer, which got plenty of books, and even used to go to the theatres to see the films relating to the books, which was quite interesting, but I think a couple of times I fell asleep, but then you had to go back to the office and say, oh yeah, it was really good. And then I worked my way up to PA to primarily in Safford Champness, and at the same time I worked as an executive assistant from there. I left there and I worked for a financial company based in London, where they had an office in Oxford, so I was going between the two. And when I was there, I worked for the CEO, the operations director, benefits director, and supporting other directors and their teams when necessary, organising their diaries, making appointments, sending them from one end of the country to the other, which was quite interesting as well. And then, where I used to help them and do conferences, workshops and hotels, I went to a business show in 2008 and came across a seminar called, it's only 15 minutes, called Virtual Assistant. I've never heard it before. I'll go in there and have a look. It's about helping companies but being your own boss. So in 2008, at the end of that, I'm thinking, yeah, I can do this. I've just bought a house, so I thought, well, get some extra money, I can do this on the side. But then in 2010, Liberty Executive Services was formed. Benefits of using a virtual PA is you can get someone that's board level, which is just a phone call and an email away. They can focus on your business and generate revenue rather than time consuming and supporting you and seeing your business grow. And a reliable source who knows your business needs assistance and support. That's what I do with all my clients. I get to know them. I don't outsource any of the work. It is me, and you get 100%. Cost savings, which is brilliant because you only pay for the hours worked. There's no additional cost of office space or equipment, and the best part about it as well is you don't have to pay PAYE, national insurance, holiday or sickness pay, training and pensions, which saves the companies a lot of money. And everything is more affordable and personal and tailored service than an agency, because you can phone up an agency, say you want XYZ, you come along, you spend half a day sitting down with them, showing them, and then realise that it's not what they've done before. They don't do it. Then you get to know them, come back for them again and someone else. Whereas, to me, that's time and money wasting. Whereas you have someone like me, you know that person knows your business. So it may be once, twice a month, twice a week, whenever you want that person is the same person. If that makes sense. And the services that I provide is diary and email management, copy typing, office support, going in, like I do with Terry, going into the office, making sure everything's okay, and if there's any post, gets scanned over to Aidan. Aidan needs to action on it. I help with hotel and travel bookings, deliver court summons, hopefully there's another one coming up, helping with suppliers and clients, inviting, if they've got an event, send out invites, RSP management, supporting seminars, training, and workshops, and sourcing venues, and a lot more. That's on the business side. On the personal side, I can organise flowers and gifts for you, book restaurants and theatres, remind you for parents' evenings, anniversaries or birthdays, or you've got to go somewhere with a client, renewing of insurances, reminding you of doctors and dentist appointments. Because I'm called Liberty Executive Services, I find I've got a whole team, and that's all you lot underneath an umbrella. So every time I go somewhere and everyone says, oh, I've got to sort out a copywriter, I've got to sort out insurance, I can say, right, I've got someone, here's their details, let me know when you've made contact with them, and then I can let them know as well. And the companies I work for, all sorts of companies, insolvency, hauliers, a property developer, private eye, which is quite interesting, all types of solicitors, health care company, and a catering company, and a few more people. And what I like, the work-life balance, whereas Liberty Executive Services can take the stress strain and the pain away and to help you focus on your business and see your business grow. Am I alright? Yes?
Yeah, fine. Oh, you need time?
Yeah.
6 minutes.
Right, and who I'm looking for is anybody that needs support in running their business, or even just need an extra pair of hands, although they've got a PA or an EA, but they're tied up in doing a project that they just need some support. That's where I can help them as well. So that's me.
Well done, Tina. Thank you very much.
If there was a particular time of the week, say a Wednesday morning, when I'm typically got lots of bits to process and things to do, can I schedule them kind of that time in your diary? So it's always a Wednesday from 9 till 12?
Yeah, always.
Okay.
And then that is your bit. Or even if you change it to the afternoon, that I'll cater for.
Okay.
So, yeah.
But yeah, perfect.
I've used your services on many occasions over the years for live call answering, which was invaluable when I'm on holiday. And my wife said, for God's sake, don't keep answering the phone, we're on holiday. So you've done it for me. How do you keep track? I mean, presumably you'll be filled in more various people. Do you have a little thing that appears on your wristwatch? Or?
Morning, Tony.
Last again.
Because every time someone's asked me to cover them because they're on holiday, it's just been them. That's been quite handy. And I've got a spare phone, so what I do, we're going forward now, is transfer it to that phone and have a voice note because sorry we can't take your call, but please leave a message, and it will be your company, just in case I'm off at the loo or making myself a drink downstairs in the kitchen and the phone's upstairs and it goes off. But then I'll call them back. So that's
How fast can you fly?
how fast I can fly? Quite. Well, let's put it this way. When
Faster than Vince.
Faster than me.
yeah.
Sorry.
Faster than you, my friend.
I see.
Well, when I did work in an office and I was constantly doing audio, I was 112 words a minute. I need to get less than that now. So I do other bits and pieces. And I don't look at things.
How do you side of things work? So, the people that you work for, do you sort of have access to their
Yeah,
outlook diary?
I have
or do you keep your
access
own?
in their
So if someone
diary.
sends you to an appointment, so you would say to Terry, that meeting we've got this call date 2 days from now. Or
Yeah, everything's flagged up as well, and everyone's a different colour.
Right.
And always remind them, I can't forget, you've got to be, say, Wickford in an hour. To leave now because the traffic's not good.
Well, I suppose one question, are you doing their diary or are you keeping your own ones separately?
I do it on mine, but I do it on theirs as well.
Okay.
So just in case I know they're off out somewhere, they're seeing someone else, and it will pop up, and I know that they need to be at this place, they've got to be there, then I'll sort of quickly send them a message saying file away and next then. A couple of times, one of my clients has phoned up, I'm stuck in traffic, so I've quickly phoned the client and explained that it will be there as soon as possible. So there's always a connection. They don't turn up somewhere late. They always know, when their clients know they're going to be on their way. Or if they're tied up with their first appointment, I'd explain that the meeting's gone on longer, can we rearrange for a later date or a later time as well. But I'll make sure there's no miscommunications.
Right. Tina.
Great 10 minutes, thank you.
Thank you very much, Tina. That was very good. Yeah, thank you very much, Tina. I know firsthand how good she is because she stands in when Terry's not around and manages our phones and does it very well. I also mentioned, and Paul mentioned typing times. I don't know about time, but I know how accurate she is as a copy typist, and that, from a legal point of view, is very important. So, so thanks for that, Tina. If you could do the fast walking, and if we start with Paul, referrals and testimonials. Paul.
Yeah, well, I think the is very accurate, so thank you. First for Howard and Mike Rogers, they know about making monies for Matt Barry and Scott spreadsheet.
I've got a referral for John Hammond for a storage system for a customer of ours. I have emailed him all the details so he does know about it. And obviously enjoyed the karting. Tuesday, so it was good fun. Do a few more ladies carry on next time.
Why did you have a car?
No, I give you. We've got 10 minutes on that. I have a referral for Paul. Please come. Paul. Paul Booth.
Hello.
So sorry, mate. I have no idea what happened with my alarm. I'm sure it was a great 10 minutes. I actually thought I might get here on time, so I did bring an HDMI cable. I'll get points for that. But interesting fact of the day, there's a lot more traffic around at quarter to, whatever time it is, quarter to 8 than there is at 6:15. A lot more. So, I didn't get here on time, sorry. Karting was great, and I have a one-to-one with Paul afterwards if you're still up for that, which is I thought would be worth it. So, yes, so well done.
Great thing. Well done, Tina. Nice one. Great karting session. Well done to Brian for arranging it. There is actually an ongoing skills inquiry, so don't preempt the results of that. And Leanne, looking forward to having some next. So, see you then.
Yeah, well done, Tina. We've worked together since I started TM Law, haven't we?
Yeah.
And without Tina's assistance, because it's just me there and Aidan, it would have been really difficult to run a business. And it's very difficult. So I really appreciate all you do for us, and it's a very important part of the business. Then all kinds of really wonderful things.
Yeah,
Weirder than others. But,
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll carry on using long valuable support. Thank you very much. Really good one-to-one with Hannah. If you haven't had a one-to-one with Hannah yet, good one up. She's a really bright young lady, really thoughtful to think about, and we're going to have to do the golden hour, aren't we? So if you haven't had a one-to-one with her now, please do. And she also helped me think about linking with other things, Scott and Mike. So thank you, Hannah. That was really enjoyable. There's a referral for the golden hour. Thanks for that. That's good. Karting was really good. I apologise to Vincent and Mark. I didn't like insurance details on the day. For hitting him up the rear and giving him whiplash. That was
Actually, it's quite interesting that on Mike's GoPro video, my number 20 car was in front of him most of the time. I think you saw my back, didn't you?
It's weird how every time you're going to overlap you.
Every time he laps me. And Toby, I'm sorry you missed my go-karting report just now. They didn't really paint you in a very good light. But basically, it's to do with the Ferrari things you're wearing.
Has to be done.
Yeah. Thank you, Tina. Thank you, Paul, for the Ed slot.
Oh, thank you, Paul, for the Ed slot.
And it was almost as if Ben was in the room. Very good impersonation. And thank you for the money to Leanne, the services rendered. And thank you to EDF for the pens. I'll go to Scott.
Thank you. Great Ed slot. I don't really have much tonight today. I've got a kind of one-to-one with Toby.
I'll be on time.
In fact, actually, I need to talk to you now. Are you coming into the office? No, I'll chat to you. No, coming to see you all. It's obviously lots of conversations I'm worthless. Great Ed slot, Ben, if you're watching the video.
And mind that, don't talk about it. Great 10 minutes, Tina. Just clarify, do you just work 9 to 5?
No.
Oh, right. I'd like to see that. I wasn't quite here. Come on, Paul. Oh, I'll toss it up, wait for someone here. The one-to-one with Sarah Still last Friday, and testimonial I put on Stuart on LG Networks. And I was in testimonial mode. I was on Google for some reason. Oh, yeah, just testimonial. Testimonial for Mike Skinner.
Very good one.
And then testimonial for Paul Booth. That was brilliant. Oh, and then a referral. Vince, I don't know if you, Vince, I don't know if you print or you know somebody that prints price tickets, but if we can have a chat.
Yeah, we do.
Okay, great, we'll have a chat. Thank you.
Well done, Tina. I've got my own version of Tina, which is employing my mum to do my bits of admin, but without that assistance in a essentially business, I don't know how I would exist. So well done, and that's excellent. Mike, we're going to organise one-to-one, perhaps even straight after. Would be terrific. And Leanne, I'd like to get a one-to-one in the diary as well as soon as we can. Thank you.
Thank you, Toby, for turning up. I don't think that's sarcastically. You pushed us from 15 to 16, which is great. So you were number 20. I was watching the video, which was great, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I said, they're just blurting with a go-kart 20, kept getting in the way. Anyway, thank you all for participating in the meeting today. You made it feel like 20 minutes and 15.
20 minutes, Tina. I've got to say, I was one of the people that thank you. I'm always looking out for you before, actually, because it does seem a really valuable service you put out. But I'm Paul. I've got a great deal of work to do. Actually, and see you next week. Thank you for listening. Really good.
Yeah, good meeting. Thanks to Toby, and I do mean that sarcastically. I've got a one-to-one with Hannah and the following up afterwards as well. On the strapline, I've been trying to think of one since I started here, but you just cannot make insurance interesting. Not 9 to 5, start to finish. But last week, I think you said room back into your room. And you didn't use it this week. I was looking forward to that. So if anyone can come up with one for insurance, just give me a shout. I'll give you a credit at the end of 6 seconds. And I've got to go for breakfast after this. The number of times you said full English, I'm Neil Ravers. So, look forward to next week.
Yep, thank you, great. Very interesting. I've my ears open for individual services. And I need one-to-one with everybody, so I need to contact you all and we'll arrange one-to-one soon.
As always, great slot, Paul. Great 10 minutes. I've got a few people in mind, so I'll send their details over. I have a one-to-one with James and a one-to-one later with him, and then a really interesting one-to-one with Terry, and sort of knowing how we both work. So, yeah, great meeting. What's that?
It's a first.
I don't know anything about dogs. So.
Tina, have you got anything to tell?
Good meeting. Good end slot. Not a bad 10 minutes.
Right, Tina,
We've all got a fairly decent stop at winning bottle of Campo Viejo. And those that put it in, about 15% go each. Who is our winner today? Terry Maley, who's appropriate. Hands up.
My wife thinks she goes to a wine store.
Right, thank you. Thanks very much, Tina. A reality check or last one?
No.
No, I'm not going to do that.
I've just got in the table. Whether you're looking for home, office, motor, business, or any other kind of insurance, we've got you covered.
That's what you used.
Damn.
I might be sure I'm boring, but I'm really good. That's not really
I think Ben struggled to jazz that out.
It's not really right.
Get insurance my way. I'm from RMK.
If you want to ensure that you're properly insured,
Well, that's clever.
speak to me.
What about Call Jimmy?
Oh, yes.
Maybe I'll think about it over the week.
Yeah, don't call that.
Yeah, no,
Right.
Paul's the expert. He stays very quiet because he knows.
I'm about to get you all to leave, but before I do, I can always use this if you won't go. Anybody want to say anything to the meeting?
That's called a brother.
It is.
A little hole in.
Oh, it's not. It's the paper.
It's a lawyer. I call it a dibloid, but it's actually a bodger. Yeah.
Terry Poker.
He does do that. I don't feel Jack, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I won't mention this. It's not market nose pick. I'll just tell you. Right, come on. Anybody else with any announcements that they want to make? No? Paul?
Yeah, Brian sent an email on the EBF Christmas do 13th of December at Meston in Putnam / Brentwood. It's 3-course meal. I'll send the details around for payments for those who are interested. What are EBF going to do? They're going to take the first drink at the bar and the wine and soft drinks.
And the main course.
Yeah, so last year we had a really good attendance, I think about 25 of us, so hopefully we can get good attendance too. Everyone's obviously free to bring their partners, wives, husbands, etc. Yeah, girlfriends, mistress, you name it. So yeah, I'll send the details.
Thank you very much, Paul, for that. Right. The sun's shining, so I send you out into a bright world. I hope you've had a good week. Let's see. The problem is it's speaking to the converted. Let's see if next week we can have a better turnout, and we'll see you all then.